Alright chat, so normally I wouldn't be going through these ability tuning things, however, I'm making an exception for this one. Anyway, Dev Insight's Final Shape ability tuning preview. This is going to be vitally important when preparing for the day one raid race. That's why I'm going over this, and I'm going to talk about at the end of the video new strategies that I'm currently cooking up for the day one raid race as the sandbox exists currently. That's not to say we won't get something new or crazy or a new weapon, new archetype added post launch of the Final Shape, but we'll adjust when it comes. But it's just good to have our plans set before the launch of the DLC so that we can adapt when the time comes. Starting off with changes to Stasis, I feel that these changes to Stasis are not significant when it comes for the reason why I'm reviewing this, that being for the day one preparation. TLDR, you're getting Frost Armor. Frost Armor is like Woven Mail, except it stacks and is stackable based on the amount of stasis crystals you get. Stasis crystals on the ground are getting reworked from just crystals to large crystals and small crystals, and a bunch of the aspects are getting reworked at the same time. Pause if you want, read this if you want. I'm really not going to go over this for very long, if at all. You can go to it. The link will be in the description if you really want it. Small things, renewal grabs getting a little bit of rework. You get Frost Armor instead of regular DR. This might be good, renewal grabs having the DR, but really I don't see it being useful. Whisper of Chains, you're not getting passive damage resistance because of the new Frost Armor, but you get a chance to get a Stasis Shard. Not sure if that's going to be useful. That's just a straight nerf to me. Shatter damage for PvE is being doubled from 200 to 400, so Chill Clip and other Stasis builds that have shatter damage incorporated into it. So TLDR, you use a weapon with Chill Clip. Chill Clip is getting buffed so that it'll be usable on more slower firing weapons. So this is a good change right here, just doubling the damage that Shatter does base. Also fixing some issues, which is good. For Warlocks, increases the maximum number of Seekers created before cooldown from 5 to 7. This is good. Good change, just a little bit of a buff. Hunter, basically, the super is going to go faster, and it's going to slow down whenever it's actually attacking something, so increase maximum travel speed, and it slows down when it is being locked onto a target. Apart from that, also, you get an additional Stasis Crystal when using Touch of Winter, and your Cold Snap no longer chains, but the Seekers duplicate when they freeze, which is really good. Being able to duplicate when it freezes as a part to whenever the stasis frozen target shatters. For Titan, increase size, increase the melee search target. It's going to make your melee a little bit better, reverting it back to what its original state was almost. And also, you automatically ban sprinting when the player throttles forward whenever using Glacial Quake. That's awesome. That's just a good quality of life change right there. Cryoclasm removed the sprint time requirement, 4-second cooldown after one extended slide. This is cool. This right here, the changes to Diamond Lance, this is basically a straight buff. There's a Cadmus Helm build that I've been playing with on Titan that I'm really enjoying, and it's just going to get even better whenever these changes are going through. I had a video in the works about Cadmus, about the Helm doing a Diamond Lance build. I am going to put that on pause until these changes come out because I really want it to be ready and available for content whenever these changes happen. So very happy about the Diamond Lance changes. This is the big thing, reworked Well of Radiance and Ward of Dawn. I'm going to tell you, I've already read this. First and foremost, I think that the changes are awesome. However, it's the wrong direction because of the way that boss fights are designed. I wish they would have done some other changes, most notably buffing other supers and adding more support options rather than just having one dedicated support per class. I mean, currently as it exists, you got your Banner Shield / Ward of Dawn, and you got your Well. If you're a Warlock, there's really not a lot of support options. I would have liked to see more PvE support options. The only thing we're going to be getting is, I believe, the auto rifle that heals people whenever you shoot it if you hit fire, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, Well of Radiance grants Radiant 8 seconds when the player exits the well. That is just a straight buff, 8-second Radiant whenever you go in and out. Reduces player survivability, reduces the healing per second, increase the heal on cast, so it's going to heal you for more, but it's going to heal you per second for less. This is just so you can survive immediately after casting it from the 40 to 300. It will take anybody at any time from 0 health to full health, or from 1 health to full health, no matter what. So you'll be able to survive when you actually cast it, so you don't waste your well. Reduce damage resistance versus non-boss, and reduces damage resistance versus boss. It'll be able so that the bosses will be able to basically kill you super quick, but you will regen health. So it depends on the type of boss. If a boss has one single big attack, that won't kill you from full unless it is a specific insta-kill one-shot condition. I think the world Radiance changes are kind of pointless, but we move on. I like that it's getting nerfed. I don't really like how they're nerfing it because, like I said, they're not adding other options. They're just saying, well, Radiance is kind of gonna suck now, so you have to choose between wanting the little bit of heal or trying to figure out a different type of support build with something like Lumina or just using the Boots of the Assembler. I don't know. Word of Dawn. Armor of Light removed. Armor of Light Overshield now applies a full Void Overshield. This is basically just rejiggering the Word of Dawn so that it is more like the Bastion Overshield in the way that it operates. So you don't need to stand inside of it. You can kind of be around it and just linger around the Word of Dawn and it'll be good. Also, no longer provides Weapons Light by default. I hate that change. I really hate it. This is just a straight nerf, taking away Weapons of Light. I mean, I guess you're trying to add more utility to the Helm of CM14, but you don't add utility by taking it away from something that already has it. That's just game design 101. You don't take things away and then add it to something else if what you're adding doesn't have value. Anyway, you'll no longer be able to use Ward of Dawn as an offensive option. It's just a purely defensive option now because it doesn't have Weapons Light by default. Helm of Same 14 is just going to be for hot swapping. Once again, we've seen it before. Anyway, Arc Staff is getting a little bit of buff. Soaring Blow, cooldown decrease, a little bit of a buff. Tempest Strike, adding additional damage resistance. Cool. Great. Arc really isn't useful in PvE as is. On Hunter, it isn't really useful as is, so we'll see what happens. Warlock Lightning Surge added additional damage resistance versus PvE combatants. Same way that Tempest Strike, you get additional damage resistance. Ball of Lightning, it's making it track a little bit easier and arm a little bit easier. Cool. And also Chain Lightning is getting buffed a little bit. This will make it so that you're able to kill enemies in Crucible off of, like, 2-tap somebody in the chest with a hand cannon or 2-tap them in the head with a hand cannon and you accidentally hit them with the second projectile of the Chain Lightning. You'll kill them. This is just a quality of life thing to make it a little bit more balanced in Crucible. You get damage resistance when activating it and when it's lingering. Increases the minimum damage, increase the maximum damage, and increases maximum damage versus enemy players by 14%. They're okay changes. It'll make it more consistent. It will make Thunderclaw more consistent. That's the charged Titan melee. Consistency changes. That's what the arc changes are all about. Consistency changes. Storm Grenade also is getting changed to kind of be more like its release variant when Arc 3.0 came out. Just increases the tracking travel speed by double. It's doubling the speed. Touch of Thunder, Lightning Grenade, applies Jolt after the first damage event. Cool. Consistency bonuses. For Arc Grenades, Skip Grenades, very excited about this. The damage is increased by PvE combatants. Storm Grenades, damage increased by PvE combatants. Arc Bolt Grenades, basically damage increases. Consistency changes, as I said. For Arc Fragments too, just more consistency changes. You can pause it and you rate it if you want. I don't think any of these changes are make or break. None of this is going into the build as it stands unless something new comes out, but we'll see. For Solar, I'm very excited for this. Lightweight Knife now has 2 melee charges by default. It increases the throw animation speed and reduces the suppression time between throws, so both knives can be thrown very quickly back to back. I feel like this is going to ruin Crucible unless they change the actual damage model of the lightweight knives. I think this is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Very excited for this. Same thing would knock him down, reduce the internal cooldown on throwing knife refund from 1 second to 2 seconds. Basically, it'll be more consistent. You ever in a situation where you just spam your fan knives twice expecting to get the cooldown back whenever you get that powered final blow and you didn't get it? Well, you're gonna get it now. Golden Gun Marksman, you will no longer be able to spam golden guns as a group of 6 hunters. RIP, one of my favorite damage strategies for raid bosses. You know, everything comes and everything goes. I don't think Golden Gun Marksman was a problem because you still had to hit the boss, and a lot of people couldn't hit bosses, but we'll see it. Consecration, getting some consistency changes. It'll be able to interact and shatter with stasis crystals, more damage from the solar ignitions, and also it'll be able to hit enemies in the air a little bit more consistently. Hammer of Soul. You're just going to get more shrapnel, so you're going to get more explosions. Swarm Grenade's also getting buffed as well. I like Swarm Grenade. I don't use it all that often because it doesn't really fit into any builds, but Swarm Grenade is my favorite solar grenade, especially on Hunter. Moving on to Void. Snare Bomb is getting a little bit better. Apply small DOT. Cool. Trapper's Ambush increases the lingering duration again. Cool. Stylus Executioner. The weaken effect can now be applied by glaive melee ticks. There's one build with Assassin's Cowl, a glaive that has Wellspring, and using Stylus Executioner to basically proc it over and over and over again. This is awesome. I like this. It's a consistency change. It just makes Stylus Executioner better and makes it so that soul flawlessing activities as a hunter is going to be easier if you're doing a Void build with Assassin's Cowl. Titan. They're buffing Shield Throw because it's one of the things that's being included with Prismatic, I believe. Increases the lifetime, increases the bounces, increases the tracking, and increases damage by PvE targets by 20%. Awesome. Offensive Bulwark can only extend Offensive Bulwark's timer to its normal duration. Cool. A little bit of a bug change. It's a buff by virtue of it being a buff change. Also regenerates a small portion of your active overshield with each melee defeat. Awesome. Cool. Let's hope that Titan melees aren't going to be broken. That you aren't going to be able to chain it. It'll be more useful to as a survivability tool than it will in Crucible, of course. Warlock. For Chaos Accelerant, it's just making it a little bit crazier. Just minor buffs versus PvE combatants. The physics knockback impulse, it's only a disruption tool in Crucible. And also passively decreases magnetic grenade cooldown by 10%. That's a good change. I like that. The Pocket Singularity increases the detonation damage by 50%. Awesome. Nova Bomb. These changes I'm actually excited for. The just straight buffs to the Nova Bomb as is increases the linger on the actual vortex from the Nova Bomb from 7 to 10, and it also gives you just, what is that, 50%? Yeah, 50% more Seekers when you're using the Cataclysm, the Shatter variant of the Nova Bomb. Strand. Reduced Woven Mail duration. Woven Mail was a little bit too easy to get, and nerfing it to bring it in line with the other damage resistance effects is good. Snaring Slam detonation volume for enemy players is now a cylinder with a 6.5 meter radius rather than a sphere with an 8 meter radius. This will make it so that you'll hit players that you know you're going to hit, and it's just consistency changes. It really is just consistency changes. You'll know when you're going to get hit by this, and you'll know when you're not supposed to getting hit by this, as opposed to just a big old circle. For Warlocks, Broodweaver is getting changed. Defeating a target with strand damage has a chance to generate Purge Startling with a higher chance of generation from defeating more powerful targets. Damage could be any source, including other Thirdlings. It's okay. Now, people I saw were upset about this can no longer shoot after you use your grapple melee. I don't think it's right here. Yeah, additionally, grapple melee will no longer be able to use after firing your weapon. Basically, you Titans who abuse 1-2 punch to do your strand melee builds. This is a nerf directly to you. It won't be as fast. You can still do it. You can still do 1-2 punch, but it won't be as consistent anymore if you're doing that tech. I feel that this is just to nerf Lowmans and to make things easier to take the damage more into line going into the day 1 raid race, but we'll see. Banner Wars getting nerfed. Awesome. Love to see it. Reduced melee damage bonuses. Decreases the timer from 30 to 24. Great. It'll bring it in line. I think Banner Wars still good, even with these changes. Alright, so while I was recording the first part of this video, the second part of this video being the armor tuning preview just dropped. I already gave this a quick read through. I'm just going to tell you what's important, what's not important, and really just add it just so I can have a little bit more to put into this video. Alright, let's get into it. TLDR, a lot of things have changed. Your favorite meta options are now no longer going to be meta in my opinion, but there are some new things to compensate for that. Running down Hunter, Triton Vice no longer requires a glaive that matches your subclass to trigger detonations. This was cool. It was always a little bit limiting having to match up your subclass elemental type to the Triton Vice to be able to get the projectile detonations, and as you can see, a little bit of a buff. Glaive Projectile Final Blow is now always trigger a detonation that matches the glaive's damage type, even when the glaive does not match the web subclass, and a surrounded effect provided by Triton Vice wielding glaive now lingers for 5 seconds after no longer being surrounded. This is good. It just works how regular surrounded works. It lingers. Before it just gave you the damage if you were surrounded, but now it lingers for 5 seconds. All right. Dragon Shadow triggers the effects when using Snaring Slam or Ascension Arc Aspect. We'll see. How this works, because it's new build crafting for ensnaring and ascension. Bow Tracer grants bonus damage. It inflicts on a target 2 weapons. The damage type also matches that of the ability used to damage the target. So basically, you're going to be able to stack multiple different damage types while using Foe Tracer. This is really just because Prismatic, you have multiple different subclass types at the same time, so they needed to change this to make it work with Prismatic. Additional benefit to 6 Coyote, since 6 Coyote would have granted the same benefits as the original exotic. They basically took the inspiration from Clawsma Makara, added the ability for 6 Coyote to create orbs of power from final blows after using our class ability. This is basically just a better version of Reaper. It's just for free, essentially. You don't have to waste the other 3 energy slots anymore to use it. Renewal Grasp, also, it's been updated because of the Frost Armor. We totally expected this, as I talked about earlier. Frost Armor, you're going to get Frost Armor from Renewal Grasp. Star Eater Scales, they're nerfing this. This is just a straight nerf. Increase the orbs of power required to grant maximum benefits from 4 to 8. I think this was a 4 to 6. I think it was originally at 8 orbs. I can't find it, but I swear to God that it was originally you had to get 8 orbs to get maximum benefit. Also, reduced increased super energy gained per orb of power when Golden Gun is equipped from 2% down to 0.5. Anyway, this is just because people were abusing Golden Gun. I don't think it was that strong, but they nerfed Golden Gun, but at the same time, they nerfed Star Eater Scales specifically for Golden Gun. Ursa Furiosa got a little bit of a buff. It was, what am I saying? Ursa Furiosa got a little bit of a buff to improve the new Void aspect in addition to its previous effects. Basically, you're going to get more movement speed, and you're also going to get super energy when you're guarding. It's going to scale similarly to what it used to be. I don't know if y'all remember during Season of the Chosen, that's when Ursa Furiosa was absolutely insane. You could just stack supers on supers on supers and generate a whole bunch of orbs. It's basically going to take it in line with other super energy granting exotic effects, but it's going to kind of revert it back to what it used to be. Eternal Warrior no longer requires Arc to be able to use it. It is making it so that you can use it with Prismatic. That's similar to a lot of the different changes, just so it has a functionality within Prismatic. It now works with multiple different damage types. Armamentarium was also given additional functionality. It was basically adding firepower to it. Firepower used to just to give you grenade energy whenever you threw a grenade if you had an armor charge. This was back a couple seasons ago before they reworked armor mods, so we're getting firepower back just for free. Awesome. Gebri Horn is getting a buff for some reason. I'm sure somebody asked for this somewhere. Increases the damage done by Solar Blast, and it scorches each time it hits a target, and it's also going to synergize with the Solar keywords and the Solar fragments. I didn't even know that this did synergize with Ember of Eruption or Ember of Ashes, so. Hoyle, TLDR, what all this means is that your HUD is no longer going to be clogged by useless information from Heart of Inmost Light. Synthos was nerfed to bring it in line with the surrounded buff period, meaning you're going to only have 5 seconds of bonus damage instead of 8 seconds. I have no idea why Severance Enclosure was changed. I really don't know why. Who uses Severance Enclosure? Not me, that's for sure. The explosions now require a line of sight to damage. Also reduced the knockback intensity of the explosions, which will now launch enemies more consistently vertical. This makes me nervous. If they're nerfing Severance Enclosure like this, then that means that they must be cooking up a nerf for Gemini Jester somewhere, because Gemini Jester works their walls in the same way that Severance Enclosure works their walls, so we'll see. Mantle of Battle Harmony was adjusted so that you now get super energy whenever you kill things, and also removes the 2-second cooldown for the explosions from Mantle Battle Harmony. This means that Ace of Spades Warlocks are back in PvE, baby. Let's go, my favorite build. I feel like this will be really good with the new changes to Necrochasm. Necrochasm, once it gets its update, is going to be an amazing weapon, I feel. So once the Catalyst gets changed, it's going to be an amazing weapon, I feel. So yeah, this is good. Good change. I like that. I like this buff. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Balindro's Wrath Weavers grants you Frost Armor now. Cool. Before, it gave you Frost Armor and your allies DR whenever using your super. Now it just grants Frost Armor. It works the same as before, just with Frost Armor. Sakat's Filaments Empowering Glyph now reset a player's existing Devour buff duration to 11 seconds in addition to its previous saver. A little change. Verity's Brow requires final blows with a weapon matching your grenade instead of one matching your equipped subclass. That means it's just going to work with Prismatic. Same thing with a lot of these changes. It's just so it works on launch with Prismatic. This is the big one. Sunbracers, reducing the solar grenade duration from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. It reduces the increased grenade recharge rate to out for a max of 4, down from 5. I think Sunbracers has seen its time in the limelight. In my opinion, it's about time it's gotten nerfed. I'll really don't play Warlock that much, but Sunbracer is by default the best option whenever playing Solar Warlock. In the vast majority of cases, you Verity's Brow users are going to come at my throat, but I'm talking the vast majority of cases, not your hyper-specific Lomans or solo flawlessing Atheon where you need Verity's Brow. Cenotaph Mask got fixed. This isn't a nerf, this is a fix. It was never supposed to work like this in the first place, getting heavy ammo, because everybody can use a trace rifle. It was always supposed to work like this. This means that with the new heavy trace rifle, the new exotic heavy trace rifle, I know I was cooking up strategies before, me and my clan, to just run around with 3 Cenotaph Warlocks using triple trace rifle and Grandmaster Nightfalls. No longer. Powered melees are getting adjusted slowly but surely, meaning so that everything that can currently trigger power melee is actually going to need to expend a charge of the ability to get the bonus from being a powered melee. Starting off, it's only with Severance Enclosure and Assassin's Cowl, so slowly but surely they're going to be nerfing everything just so that they can then buff it in a future update. Basically, they're fixing the functionality slowly but surely, and then they're going to buff it. If you masterwork your exotic armor, you can make an Artifice. It only costs 10,000 Glimmer, easy enough to come by, and exotic Cipher. You get a free Cipher per week if you just talk to Zer, pretty much just do the quest, play activities, you get a free Cipher, and you get a bunch from your season pass anyway, so this is easy. It's only +3. This might be make or break for some people's builds, I don't know. It'll be a little bit less annoying to get full stats though. Ammo Finder, I did not know this before reading this, but the heavy and special ammo finder reset the progress towards an ammo brick whenever you die. They're fixing this so that it now carries over in between lives, and because of that, they're removing it, or rather disabling the ammo finder mods in Crucible and in Gambit. But they've also increased the special and heavy kill requirement by 20%. So basically, you have to kill more things to get the same amount of ammo, but if you die, you're no longer going to lose your progress, which means it should feel more consistent across the fire team. Raid armor mods, they are removing the cost of the raid armor mods. Cool. I wish that they would add raid armor mods a slot to every piece of armor, but apparently they can't do that. I don't use raid armor mods anyway, really just isn't worth the hassle to fit it into my build. Most of them aren't that strong. A couple of them are really, really strong, but it's almost not worth the time it takes to find a good piece of armor and rebuild your build to support it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That was the weapon and armor changes going into the final shape. The weapon changes are in a previous video. The armor and subclass changes are included in this video. I'm going to link it right now. If you don't already, I'm running a giveaway on this video. All you have to do is comment something, follow the instructions. Besides that, the winner's going to be picked on Sunday. I'm still working on some more content. My hand's feeling better by the day. So with that, I leave you with this. I hope each and every single one of you had a great day. I hope you continue to have a great week. Enjoy your weekend. Memorial Day weekend coming up. Besides that, thank you all for watching. Have a great day.